Hola, I'm Chef Richard Sandoval. Thank you for joining me to celebrate the festive season with what we're calling Felizmente Unidos. The end of the year marks a time of unity, of togetherness, and of reflection. What better way to do that than by gathering to enjoy a meal that celebrates the season? In many Latin American cultures, the festive time is also celebrated with children breaking open star-shaped piñatas filled with candy, toys, oranges, peanuts, and occasionally a little bit of money. I invite you to visit our restaurants to discover some of these festive flavors and our specials that will hopefully give you a similar level of excitement as breaking open that piñata. Discover the beautiful artwork by our celebrated artist partner Victor Melendez, and in the music curated by Paco Rosas and Christoph Burlon, found on our Spotify playlist. Follow along as I show you how to make Ensalada de Noche Buena, a traditional dish enjoyed by families on Christmas Eve in Mexico. Let's get started. All right, so we're gonna get started here with our salad. So first off, we're gonna do is we're gonna grab our fresh squeezed orange juice, and we're gonna put it in a little saucepan here, and we're gonna reduce it by 3/4. Preferably for this salad, use fresh squeezed orange juice. All right, next we're gonna go into our beets, which we're gonna oven roast. And so we're gonna grab our heirloom beets. We have yellow beets, candied beets, and regular beets. We're gonna grab a little bit of some fresh thyme here. Just wanna take off, the little leaves off here. And again, to get some nice aromatics on them as they roast in the oven, it's absorbing the flavors. We're gonna add a little bit of fresh pepper, a little bit of kosher salt, a little bit of olive oil, and now what we want to do is we're just going to wrap them up in our foil here to make sure as they're roasting, you're also getting some steam, and it's going to make the process a little bit faster. We're going to put it in our skillet, and now we're going to grab our beet. We're going to cut it in half, and the reason for this is we want to speed up the cooking process. And again, we're going to do the same. We're going to add a little bit of our, fresh thyme. Again, you want to make sure you get a decent amount of leaves again, so you get that nice, aromatic on your beet once it's finished. We're going to add a little bit of fresh black pepper, a little bit of kosher salt, and then we're going to add a little bit of our olive oil here. Same process. We're going to grab our aluminum, and we're just going to wrap them up. Again, you want to make sure it's very well sealed so the heat stays in. And again, that speeds up our heating process. Now we're going to take our beets, we're going to put them in the oven, and we're going to let them roast probably for about an hour, probably around 450 degrees. And again, you want to open them with a knife, check them, making sure they're cooked all the way through. That's the best way to tell if they're ready to be used. So while we're waiting for our orange juice to reduce, we're going to get our beets out of the oven. And again, as I said earlier, you want to make sure they're cooked all the way through. You want a nice tender bite, not too soft, but a nice bite to them. Now we're going to get our heirloom beets first. I'm not going to peel them because I want to have this nice kind of rustic texture. So I'm going to leave them skin on. And with these, we just want to do like half moons, enough to get one bite. They're beautifully. Nice and soft, but not too cooked. Now we're going to get our yellow beets. And again, these we're not going to take off the skin because we want that nice, rustic texture. And now we're going to go on to our red beets. And again, on this one, we are going to remove the skin, because it tends to be a little tougher, and we don't want that. So again, I'm just going to remove that real quick. And with our beets, instead of half moons, we're going to do a nice kind of, some nice cubes. And the reason for that, we want to have, for the look of the dish, different forms, looks, textures. You don't want everything to be, to look uniform. So again, a nice cube here. All right, next we have a nice jicama here. It's very common in Mexico. And the nice thing about jicama, it has a nice water content. It's nice and crisp. It doesn't have much flavor. It's very neutral, but again, it gives you a nice texture. So this one you want to make sure, you want to peel it because the skin is very, very, very dense. So now we're just gonna peel it all the way through. I love jicama just with a little bit of lemon juice or lime juice. And again, it's just really, really nice and refreshing. We're gonna make some discs, and then out of the disc, we're gonna make a little bit of some julienne jicama. And again, this is gonna be just a nice garnish for our salad, to give it a little bit of crispiness and a little bit of texture. All right, next we're gonna grab our baby gems, and we're gonna toss that in a little bit of our olive oil. We're gonna add our reduced orange juice. We're gonna mix that around. A little bit of black pepper, a little bit of salt. And again, this is just kind of a nice coating, for your baby gem, so that when you're eating it through, you get a nice, balance, a nice seasoning. Food is all about seasoning, all about flavors, all about balance. And so you want to make sure, even when you're using just plain lettuce, you season. If you don't want to make a vinaigrette, a little bit of salt, a little bit of lemon juice, a little bit of black pepper, just to make sure it's really nice and seasoned. Now we're going to toss that around. All right, as we hold that, we're going to have another vinaigrette here, which we're making with our beet juice. A little bit of balsamic vinegar. From the beets, we get a nice sweetness, and then we've got to add a little bit of acid to it. Again, we're using balsamic here because it's also a little bit sweet, but you can use lemon, lime, maybe a sherry vinegar, whatever you prefer. Again, a little bit of fresh pepper, a little bit of salt. We're going to mix that around. And then a little bit of olive oil. And then this vinaigrette we're going to use for two different things. One, just to coat our beets, our heirlooms and our regular beets, and then we're going to use that as a nice vinaigrette. So we don't want this to be emulsified. We want it to have a nice separation so that when you coat, when you dress your plate, you want to get a nice color differentiation between the olive oil and the beets. All right, now we're going to grab our beets. So we have our yellow heirloom beets here, and our regular red beets. We want to season this, so a little bit of fresh black pepper. And I think salt is probably one of the ingredients that most people are very afraid of. And, don't be afraid. Obviously, don't over season, but don't be afraid. I mean, I think salt is the bridge that kind of connects all the, brings food together. So please don't be afraid to, to use salt. Now we're going to use a little bit of our vinaigrette here. Just a couple spoons just to get a nice coating in there. We're going to toss it around. Now we're ready to plate our Ensalada de Noche Buena. As you see, a lot of ingredients. It's a very colorful salad. Kind of represents. We have a Noche Buena, which is a plant that's red, and poinsettia here is very festive, very Christmas. So as you see, a lot of those colors are reflected in that. Again, we want this dish to be very festive, very colorful, but also very flavorful. So first, we're going to grab. We're going to put a couple of our beets here on our plate. And again, plating is like building a house. If you don't have a solid foundation, your house is going to fall apart, right? So first, when I plate this out, I layer. So I put my foundation first, which is going to be my beets. Then I'm going to put, my baby gems here. And again, you see the beets are, giving me a nice solid foundation here, but also a little bit of height. Now I'm going to grab a little more of our beets here, our yellow beets, our candied heirloom beets. We're gonna put them all around here. Then we're gonna grab, our jicama. And again, the jicama, I'm gonna toss with a little bit of our orange juice and a little bit of our olive oil, a little bit of salt, and a little bit of black pepper again. As you see, I season everything when I'm cooking. Sometimes you go to restaurants and you see, you'll taste, a constructed dish, and the mashed potatoes will be nicely seasoned, but then the filet's not seasoned. So you get a nice flavor, and then it goes flat. So you want to make sure everything is very well seasoned, so you're getting all these balances of flavors, and they're not lost. Like I said, here we're going to add a little bit of our, reduced orange juice, a little bit of our olive oil, and again, I'm just going to toss that around. And again, I'm just going to garnish it. Use it as a garnish for my salad. Jicama, like I said, has a nice water content, nice crunch, real nice texture. And again, when you're eating a dish, it's all about, first of all, you look at visual, because you eat with your eyes. So if something looks appetizing, your brain automatically going to say, oh, well, it's going to be good. But then it's all about the flavors and the textures. And as you see here, I'm using a lot of different textures. I'm going to toss, a little bit of our pomegranate here. We have our tangerines here. Again, a little bit of salt. And I'm not using any olive oil or citrus, because you already have a nice citrus in your tangerines. Again, beautiful color. A little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, yellow beets. I'll toss them around. And again, I'll just kind of indent them here. You want to make sure you showcase its color, so you want to find some, some areas in your dish where they'll really, showcase their color. We're going to use our candied beets here. Again, nice color, nice texture. A little bit of candied peanuts. A little bit of sweetness, a little bit of crunch. We're going to add a little bit of sorrel, microgreens. And again, you always want to have some nice aromatics. And as you see, I'm adding the microgreens at the end. I'm not adding anything to them because you don't want them to wilt. Last but not least, we have some baby beets here. A little bit of salt. Here I am going to add a little bit of, just a couple drops of olive oil. And then I'm just going to place them right here in our beautiful salad. And then what we're going to do here is we're going to finish it off with our vinaigrette. And as I said earlier, we did not emulsify this vinaigrette because we want a nice separation of colors. And as you're going to see as we layer out, the beet, the olive oil kind of separate, and it gives you this really, really nice visual. And again, you just want to mix a little bit and then just drizzle it all the way around. And here is our beautiful Ensalada de Noche Buena.